There goes.
Shh. All right. Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Video won't come on. Come on. What's going on? Just like Jinx. There it is. Okay, finally. Good morning,
Good morning,
everybody.
everyone.
Rini, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming. And we want to say hi to our YouTube audience and thank you for joining us today in the sacred energy of Circle. And today you're going to be able to watch Rini and I, okay, our evidential mediums, as we connect spirits who have come over to the other side and deliver messages from those spirits. And our hope is that by watching us at work, you'll come to understand that the loved ones that you may have lost are, in fact, still with you. So, can you please join us as we open with a prayer? Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Please help us to open all of our senses, physical and spiritual, so that we can receive your messages without interference from our own minds. We humbly ask that you make this circle an uplifting and joyous experience for everyone in attendance. Please ask the spirits who recognize the voices in this room to join us this morning so that we will know that they watch over us, love us, and protect us still. And please allow us to deliver the information presented by Spirit with grace and compassion, in complete trust and respect of your infinite wisdom. Amen. All right. And since there's only two of us, I would say we could go as long as we want. So,
Okay.
if you grab a spirit before I do, hop on in there. And if I grab one first, I'll jump in.
Actually, as I was doing meditation, I do have someone for you.
Perfect.
It's a
Thank you.
woman. It's a
Uh-huh.
woman.
Uh-huh.
She passed from cancer, but
Okay.
I feel like there was a long-term relationship with you and her.
Okay.
I feel like this goes back quite a many years. Um, she's showing me standing in a forest. So I don't know if she was an outdoor person or this just saying that the relationship was long term with ancient like trees, like you had a really long term relationship with this woman. Um, she passed from cancer. She was married. Um, she's also showing me dice, the little white dice, you know. Um, I don't know if this is significant to you or her, and it could be something as simple as gambling or it could be games, but she's showing me dice, two dice. Would you understand the dice?
I don't understand the dice right off, and the female
Okay.
could be one of several.
Okay. Um, let me see. She was she was very close with her husband. They had a close relationship. They had a good relationship. They had a strong relationship. Um, I want to say she lived to be like in her 70s or 80s. Um, she passed. Her husband is still living. I feel this woman was wise. She had a lot of knowledge about her. She knew a lot about a lot of things. Um, but she wasn't like cocky or smart alecky about it, like I know more than you or whatever. She wasn't that type of person. Like if you offered or you ask her for information, she would offer what she knew and how to help, but she would never push anything that she knew or was familiar with on people. Um, I'm also seeing a library around her and books. Like I feel like she liked to read. Um, she was a bookworm. Like she really liked spending time with books. Is any of this helping you with the person that you may know?
Uh, I can understand everything except that her husband is still living.
Okay. So this woman, her husband is passed?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Let's see. She's also given me the name Jack around her or you. Would you understand the name Jack?
In a weird way. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, why would she tell me her husband is still living? Did this couple have a son that you knew of?
Yes,
Okay. Did he resemble his father a lot?
very much.
Okay. That's why she's saying. Um, he's still in the living and he looks so much like her husband.
Oh, yeah, very much.
Okay. That's what she's given me for that to back that up. Um, she's talking about a trip and like throwing coins in like a fountain or in a wishing well of some type, making a wish. Would you have recalled this?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, because she's talking about being on a trip and she's talking about three coins, like throwing coins, um, and making wishes. Um, let's see if she'll elaborate. Do you remember her traveling out of the country?
Yes.
Okay. Possibly to France or Paris or somewhere similar to that surrounding.
Uh, if she did that, I'm not aware.
Okay. Because for some reason she's showing me Paris and she's showing me the Eiffel Tower. Um, and she's just talking about love. Um, see if she'll elaborate on this. I know we just had Valentine's Day and she's just like showing me like love like all around you. Um, what she's saying is you don't realize it how many people care about you and love you. She said, but there's just love all around you. Um, and there's a lot of people that love you and care about you, but you don't realize this at times. Um, and I know both your parents are in spirit. She's also bringing them in. She's with them over there, and they're just talking about how much they loved you. Um, and she's saying if there's a possibility that you can still be over there and miss your loved ones here, they sure are missing you. But they
Oh,
want you to know how much you're loved. And they're like showing me like a letter and stamping it, but they're stamping it with hearts to say we're sending love to you. Well, they're just giving me I like all these little red hearts, like we're like we just love you so much, and they're just stamping like the postmark with a heart to say like we just love you so much. Um, just because we're not there physically any longer, I'm still there in spirit, and they surround you, they watch you. She's not taking like a silver spoon into a little bowl of sugar and and she's putting it in a cup of tea and she's stirring it around and
yeah, that
she
makes
says,
sense.
does it? And she's just giving me goosebumps and she's like, you were the sweetness in my life. She
Oh,
goes, you were the sugar in my tea. She
oh,
goes, you were the sweetest daughter that I could have ever asked for. And she said, you generate love and the people around you truly love you. And she's like, I don't want you to ever forget how much we love you. Even though we're not there physically, we're with you in spirit and we're just sending our love. And your friend is saying, you know, she's showing me like your hand in hers and saying, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your friendship. And I'm going to leave that with love and light and thank her for coming in.
Oh, thank you, Renee. That was beautiful. So that was actually my mother's sister, my aunt, okay, who she passed away from cancer. She um had a good relationship with her husband, and boy, you hit the nail on the head. I think the golden nugget in that was is that their son looks exactly like his dad. And we joke
Wow.
about it. It's a family joke because he's actually aging to look just like his dad. You know, you
Wow.
take
That's what
pictures
she
of
was
his
showing
dad
me.
at the
That's why
same
I
age,
felt
and
like he was still here, you
yeah,
know?
it's fantastic. Okay.
Wow.
And Jack, I don't know where that came from. That's kind of unless that was a nickname for her husband that I didn't know about. Her
Uh-huh.
husband's name was John.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
and I'm actually going to go back and check and see if, she ever called him Jack. Okay,
Okay.
because that is that nickname. But that's one thing that I wasn't really sure about. Um, and she traveled out of the country. She came down to the States all the time. She's from Canada,
Oh,
so she did
oh, okay.
travel out of the country. And the message about the love being all around me was really well timed because I set an intention out today. I mean, I'm missing my mom today, and I don't know what,
Oh,
you know, I think everybody goes through that.
yeah,
They have
yeah.
certain times when they miss certain people. And I was missing my mom this morning, and I said, Mom, why don't you come in and say hi? And
Oh,
so that was kind of interesting that my mom came in sort of a roundabout way with all the hearts
uh-huh.
and this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But for whatever
Did she
reason,
put sugar in her tea by
oh yeah,
chance?
yeah,
Did
oh
she?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both
Wow.
tea drinkers. So yeah, that was
Oh,
very funny. So yeah,
wow.
so thank you. That was just a marvelous reading on so many levels. But for the purposes of our YouTube audience, I want to ask you about how you went back. And I'm trying to think of what the specific question was when she said, oh, you initially said her husband's still living.
Hmm.
And I said no to that because her husband is not living. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
And then somehow or another, you went back to spirit and then you came up with the evidence of the fact that her son um, looks so much like his father. Okay.
Hmm.
And that's where you came up with that evidence. But can you explain that process of how you got clarification of something that I told you was wrong?
Okay. Um, so when I felt like her husband was still here, I asked her, I said, your husband's in spirit. Why are you showing me this person that feels like your husband? And she's like, this is my son. He looks just like his father, you know?
Okay.
So it was really cool how she showed me like the transgressions, through the years of how he really is. Like you said, now looking at him as he's aging, he's really looking more like his dad.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you can barely tell the two apart. Okay. But initially, though, you felt like the son was the husband?
No, I felt like her husband was still living because
Oh,
I could
okay.
see this person that looked like her husband. And so that was
Okay.
my assumption that her husband was still living. And when I
Okay.
asked her, she said, that's my son. He looks just like my husband.
Okay. All right. So, and for the benefit of our YouTube audience, see, that's kind of interesting because Renee saw that man and she assumed, okay, that it was the husband. Okay. And it was not the husband, it was the son. Okay. So, sometimes like the information goes bad just because the medium makes an assumption about what is going
Mhm.
on. Okay. But if that happens, like people do that in real life, then you just go back
Right.
and you get clarification, on the evidence and all those good there. So, yeah. All right. Nice job, Renee. All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, you know what? I'm going to see if I can grab a spirit for you. And
I would, if you'd like, I can give you a name if you want to
Do
see if
you
you
know,
can
I
come up
was
with one.
just thinking I would like to work off a name. Isn't that funny? Um, and you know, full disclosure to our YouTube audience, I may fall flat on my face when I do this,
Oh,
okay, but the whole purpose of this channel is to show you the goods and the bads of this. So, so Rini, give me the name and let me see what I can come up with here.
okay, I'm going to give you my friend. His
Don't tell
name
me
is
that
Les, L-E-S.
L-E-S is in Sam.
Yep, Les.
Okay, less. Okay, all right. All right, so less. When I read into less, I'm getting into my right brain here because I have a friend named Les who is female, but I don't think that yours
Oh,
is, I don't think yours is female. Yours is male, correct?
yes.
Okay, all right. But isn't that funny? You know, just for the benefit of our YouTube audience, this is um somehow sometimes your own life can sort of trip you up on things like this. All right, so when I lean into less, I am seeing daffodils just emerging from the ground. Okay. So is there a significance to daffodils?
Um, I'm going
I'll
to
keep,
say yes in kind of a strange way.
all right. Okay, I'm going to go on. Um,
Okay.
this is different. Because I can't see this individual yet, but I'm hearing him loud and strong. And what I'm hearing is that he considers himself to have been very fortunate. And that's the word that he's using, fortunate. So would you have understood him to feel that way about himself?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, I just heard Cocoa Puffs. Is there a significance to Cocoa Puffs for either of you?
I don't know if he liked Cocoa Puffs. I'm going to have to check with the family on that
Okay,
one.
all right. Cocoa Puffs. All right. I think that that's just a sense of humor, actually.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm leaning more into it and I'm feeling a little bit of what's the word that I want? Charm. Okay. I feel like this guy is uh I like the word charm. I'm going to stick with that. He's charming. Um,
Mhm.
and he likes women, but not in a creepy way. Okay. I just want to say that, you know, there are, you know, some guys who just can't converse with women, but, you know, I think that he did a good job of this. Uh,
Yes.
I feel a spiritual bent with him too.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. You understand the spiritual bent? Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now I'm hearing, this is strange. the song, this song, The Wreck of the End, Edmund Fitzgerald. And specifically, I'm hearing the lyric, the church bells rang. Okay. The church bells rang. Okay. You know, and then it goes on for each man on Edmund Fitzgerald. But is there a significance to church
Yeah.
bells with him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Did he like to cook? Did
Yes.
you? Okay. Did he like to cook and if I were to go down this road, could you verify any information about his mother?
Possibly.
Okay. All right. Because he's talking about at some point like his mother being more dependent on him. Would you know
Yep.
that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Mhm. Mhm.
He's saying that that gave him a new appreciation for what women do. Okay.
Okay.
It's kind of, this is interesting. He's like, in some respects, like a Renaissance man, smart enough to um, be able to try out that experience and, attach it to, what women go through regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Showing his mother there with a whole bunch of pill bottles. Okay. So, would you know that he administered medicine to her?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, he also said he prayed with her. Would
Yes.
you know that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He's saying that that prepared him. I want to see what this is. Saying that her passing was heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. This is
Mm-hmm.
really deep. This really
Yeah.
deep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, would you know that he saw his mother after she crossed over?
That I don't know.
That's what he's telling me. Okay. For,
Possibility.
okay. And for the benefit of our YouTube audience, uh, sometimes information like that is the neatest stuff to come up in a reading. Rainey can't verify that particular piece of information, but um, she may be able to go back and find that out from another family member, or um, sometimes what happens, it can come up in a reading with a completely different medium, and then like, how the heck does that happen? Okay. But that is what he's saying. He said he saw his mother and was aware of her presence after she crossed over. And that's how, so he's saying that's how he knew, that was his confirmation that there is an afterlife. Um, he's showing me this thing, and I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to have to try to describe it. But it's, looks like it's made of brass. Okay. And it has, for lack of a better word, they almost look like little chimes that hang off of it. Okay. And it makes kind of like this shimmering noise when
Okay.
he runs his finger across this. Do you know what this is?
No. Mm-mm.
I have no idea what that. I've never seen it,
No.
so I can't tell you. All
I'll
right,
have to
show
ask
me
this
something
man.
else. Now he's going down a completely different road, and he's talking about landscape, the landscape.
Okay.
And so he's talking about this is being harmonious with nature, and he's kind of going over the top with this, okay, because he's showing me like um things like beehives, but not beehives that are in nature, okay, created by bees themselves, but beehives that are set up by people to provide housing for bees. Let's put it this way. So it's like you're going out of your way to accommodate nature critters. Okay. Um, all nature. Would that make sense? That
Yes.
he would go out
Mm-hmm.
of his way to accommodate nature?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, did you go to a pancake breakfast with him?
I'm sure I did.
Did you really?
I'm sure I did. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We would go out to breakfast. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. He's talking about pancake breakfast. Okay, I want to go back to that nature thing because I thought that was kind of cool. So
Yeah. Yeah.
let me see what he's got to say about that. So he's given you a big old compliment here. Okay. And he's saying that you in particular have your eyes open to everything that is going on in the world around you. Okay.
Mhm.
And he said that it wasn't until he got over to the other side that he realized how clueless most people are to everything that is going on around
Mhm.
them. Okay.
Mhm.
And he's saying that you see that, okay, and you, yeah, this is nice. Okay. He says you understand your place in the grand scheme of things, which is he's saying it's a your evolution, okay, that you understand your place in the grand scheme of things. Okay. Hmm. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get a message from this guy. He's cool. I like
Mhm.
him.
Very cool.
Okay. And so he's just kind of laughing a little bit. Okay. And what he's saying to you is that um first of all, he's looking forward to catching up with you on the other side. All right. So he's going to hang around and wait for you, which is neat. All right. But then he's also saying that you're laying the foundation for making, the transition into the next life so much easier. Okay. And he says, you're doing, and he says, I'm telling you, like this. He's pointing the thing. I'm telling you, okay, that you're laying the foundation, okay, to make that transition um, so much quicker and so much easier. And he says, and that's just great because he says, when you get over here, you're going to appreciate the work that you did here. Okay.
Wow.
It's going to be so much of a benefit on the other side. All right. And I'm going to leave you that with light and love. And thank you for letting me serve spirit. Um,
That was awesome. That was awesome. That's my very dear friend. He just passed away like 6 weeks ago.
oh no. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And I was very close to him. And how I said catching up, it's synchronistic because we would always go out and catch fish together. So he's catching up. I'm sure that's what he's talking about when he was talking about that too. But he was a good cook. He was a really good cook. Um, he was really into nature. Um,
yeah.
he would go camping all the time. He would set up like the campground for everybody. He would cook for everybody and, get the wood and just do everything. He was just so into nature. And you brought up the daffodils. We're just talking about yesterday with, spring coming in, and we were literally talking about daffodils. So I feel like he was right there with my conversation. And right before I got on, my friend had called. She's a beekeeper, and she was
Oh,
talking about her hives and
oh
just
my.
losing several hives. And she was going to have to split the other ones to try to make up for it. And she's transferred the different hives to different places. And so I'm sure he was listening in on that conversation of,
Oh
the
my gosh.
hives. But and then at the end when he was talking about helping people transition, I just completed my course to become a death doula and help people to cross over and to be at ease with their death and, holding their
Oh
hands as they
gosh. Okay.
transform over to the other side. So that was all very unique.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
very, very good information. Thank you
All
for sharing.
right. Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for that.
God.
All right. Well, so you made me think of something here for the benefit of our YouTube audience. I'm going to kick this out and ask you a question about this. I've heard it, okay, and I know other people have heard the same thing that there's a general axiom that once people cross over to the other side, they won't appear in a mediumship session for, and the number that I most often hear is 6 months. Okay. So
Mhm.
you're telling me that this man, you know, just crossed over 6 weeks ago and he's already
Mhm.
here. Okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
do you think that this rule about spirits not coming in for 6 months is true?
No, not at all, because I know my brother passed a year ago and he came in the day after he passed. He
Okay.
came in loud and strong. So I know that's not true. I think they say that more or less for the person that's still living to help them get through their grief and help them grasp the messages and the information that they have for them, because sometimes in their grief they're not seeing that or hearing any of that, so it kind of takes them at least 6 months to a year to get over that.
Oh,
But no, I think they can contact us ASAP.
do you think that's dependent on the spirit?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I would agree with that, because I've had the same experience. I've brought in people who literally they were laying in the funeral home and their service hadn't even happened, and all of a sudden, I bring their spirit in.
Yep.
So I don't, subscribe to that, it takes 6 months for them to turn up. But
Mhm.
it's interesting that you say that that rule is more for the sitter, and I think that is spot on. And
Mhm.
my take on that is that when you've lost somebody who is so dear to you, you're so consumed with grief that um, you can't even hear, really truly hear what is being said to you, because that cloud is hanging on you to the extent that it is. And so, you as the sitter may need a little more time, okay,
Mhm.
to just decompress and get yourself to the situation where you can be receptive to a mediumship reading. But
Mhm.
on the other hand, okay, Rainey and I are mediums, and um, while we don't want to see our loved ones go over to the other side, obviously we'd rather have them on the earth plane, but we know that when they go, we can get right in contact with them right away. So I don't think that we grieve quite the same way that you do. Um,
Correct.
you know,
Mhm.
but believe you me, we grieve
Mhm.
most
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah. All right. Any final thoughts on that, Rainey, before we shut down for the day?
I liked how you said about Renaissance, because if you saw him, he looked like he walked right out of the Renaissance. He was
Oh
a
yeah.
big man, and um, the way he looked, you would think he came out of the Renaissance.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he just seemed like a very intelligent guy. All right,
Yeah.
is
Hmm.
in, but more soulful and able to do a lot of, like, what I'm going to say, non-traditional roles was my take
Correct.
on him. So, so I'm
Mhm.
honored to have met him today. So I thank you, Les, for coming in.
Yeah.
Okay, and on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and close this down with a prayer. So, if you liked what you saw here today, please hit like and subscribe on our channel. We're here every Saturday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, discussing all things mediumship. And like I say, we do this live, so you get to see the good with the bad, which I think is important. And I'm going to go ahead and close this down with a prayer. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Thank you for this gift of mediumship that you have given us, and allow us to use this precious gift to help others who need your healing and love. Bless our friends and loved ones and protect them from sickness and harm. Bring joy into the lives of people who have sorrow, health into the lives of people who have illness, and abundance to the lives of people who have little. Thank you for the lessons that you've given us today, and help us to continue to build a relationship with you that is based on love and trust. And always, please help us to be the lights that change this world for the better. Amen.
Oh man.
Right. Have a great day, everyone. We hope to see you